Chorja, Princess Burnjaw, Privy to Colostra on. Tomadin Shaw, a Nocht, on Fish Garret, a Horror Fall, the himeachtaí Gestalti, Meow Cerdid Gnea Exula, a Vaser Shul, or Have na Hidirbhliana, the Bliain Hogi. The Sulgun Gabaniship Tanibas, August Mata Kester Beheg of Egadera is Federation again, Tridden Refushed, no Tridden Efig, Igalashta on. First of all, I would like to welcome you, parents and pupils, here tonight in what will be a small video in relation to the TY transition year and what parents and pupils can expect from what is, I suppose, a different year in relation to the education of your sons, and that this year becomes a totally different and separate entity to what the other 5 years will be and or have been. So we must make sure that we understand the concept of what the transition year is about, and therefore for us to be able to enjoy it and to gain the experience, life experiences, we need to understand what exactly we expect from your sons and what you expect from us as a school, obviously. Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank the boys, the teachers, and you as parents for your diligence, hard work and cooperation during what has been a very difficult period right the way through the world. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and as the vaccines are rolled out, we have a summer to look forward to that will mean the start and a new beginning for us all. But before we start, I would like to remember those who have passed away, our neighbours, friends, relations, and we will be able to, as a group within a school here or with your own communities, to be able to remember the loved ones that have passed away. So, the junior cycle has just been completed by our students, and we hope that they all achieve the results that they have set out between their CBAs, their classroom-based assessments, their monthly or exams that have followed from a first year right the way through to now has been a learning experience. And that's what the whole idea of the new junior cycle was about, a learning experience coming, I suppose, to fruition at the end of the third year. Obviously, there was not a state exam this year, but nevertheless, it still will have been a major milestone in your son's development through the Irish education system. So as that is completed, a new cycle will begin. And therefore, for a new cycle to begin, we have to reflect on what has happened and how we're going to be able to move forward as a group. But before we do that, I'd like to pay special tribute to Maestro Trasic, who was the year head and who came in last year and took over and has done a tremendous job in ensuring that you as parents and as pupils know exactly what's going on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. And again, I would like to thank him. Working alongside him was Ininik David with Trí Con, Maestro Gail and Trí Danu, agus Inie, Trí Oran. And of course, the Deputy Principal, Maestro McDonagh, who has been with your sons in this particular year group since day one and has played no small part in their development. So again, I would like to thank those 4 teachers, especially on your behalf, on my behalf, and on the pupils' behalf, on the Trojan work that they have done. So moving ahead, what's going to happen here tonight on this small little video is I'm really just as the compare here. I'm going to pass you over to Ininik Gallagher, who is the TY coordinator, and she will be able to give you an insight into what's going to happen and how, where, and dates will be given of different activities. I suppose when we get back closer to September, everything will all be COVID related, of course, but hopefully we're going to be able to put a calendar. We will know later on in the summer where we actually stand in being able to talk about trips within the country, trips abroad, and the different various activities that do happen within this particular year. So that when Ininik Gallagher is finished her piece, it will be a general synopsis of what we would expect the pupils to be able to have a grasp and understanding, and you as parents, as to what is going to happen during that year. Just a footnote, Ininik Gallagher will not be with us at the start of September. She will be on maternity leave, but the calendar that will be laid out will be taken over by another teacher. At this point in time, we are conducting interviews, and that will become apparent. So hopefully maybe in September, if gatherings are allowed, we'll be back into the Hala in Coláistón, and the new coordinator for that particular year group will be announced. But again, it'll be in Inigalacor's work, in Inigalacor's calendar. So all it will be is that we will be following the work or the calendar that will be laid out during the summer. So again, we wish her all the best, and Moshe Corinne, of course, as well. So what is going to happen simply is that I'm going to leave you now and let Inigalacore talk about what is going to happen. Before I finish, I would like to say that individual and collective responsibility are the key to a successful transition year. Why I say individual, because the individual must be, rather than what has happened heretofore, is that it's about your experience. It's about what you want to achieve, whether it's the Gashka Awards, whether it's setting up a new club with boys, whether it's setting up anything that you want to do and want to achieve. It is really going to be down to you. The collective responsibility is about us being able to provide within a school parenting group. So you're talking about your voluntary work, your work experience. All of these things need to be looked at during the summer, so that when you come back here, that this isn't something that you have to run around. Think about it, think wisely, and then make sure that you take the options that are in relation best for your son. This year opens up a huge area of learning that heretofore wouldn't have been able to, as an education system, we wouldn't be able to provide. This gives them the ample opportunity from, as I said, trips to Ceol drama, to stuff that probably they may never meet again in their lives. So topic and jesh, as they say, because if you don't, the year flies by very quickly. From a maturing point of view, they turn in from young boys into adolescents, and that has to be managed and has to be to ensure that we get them working towards the goals that they will be able to achieve and will make them and form them into the young men of tomorrow. So, accordia Gorbada Bunchev, Big Saura Mahagav, Agus Gaji Gavek for Shin Galer Lichela, Slán Tamil, Gormina Magat.
Díagh a chuirde is Mr. Sarah Ní Gallagher, coordinator Hidirbhliana a Coláistón. Hello everybody, I am Sarah Ní Gallagher and I am the 4th year coordinator in Coláistón. I hope everyone is well and that you are all maintaining some form of sanity throughout all of this madness. Moshe the Pur has asked me to put together a short video to give you a little perspective, a little insight as to what to expect from September in transition year for your boys. So I'm going to do that very briefly. If you have any questions after this presentation, you're more than welcome to send your questions to ceoifig@onisagam.ie and we shall endeavour to get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so let's begin. Transition year is ultimately a bridge from junior cycle to senior cycle. So it's the in-between time, if you like. So if you imagine that from junior cycle, we have students who are very dependent learners. And by the time they get through to senior cycle, we hope that they become more independent and more self-guided learners. That's one of our main objectives, I suppose, in the transition year programme. Transition year will hopefully bring about maturity, personal development. They'll learn new skills, both technical skills as well as academic skills. We're hoping that they will prepare them a little bit more for the outside world, with the opportunity to have some work experience, to do some voluntary work while they're in the transition year programme. So that's ultimately what we're aiming for. As always, the focus is on the curriculum. In any school, in any year, it makes no difference. The heart of the year is their core subjects. So English, Irish, maths will continue to be the heart of that everyday learning. And that's a very important thing to realise from the outset, that it's not expected for students just to forget about their normal learning. You know, they'll still be in class for the majority of the time, still doing homework for the majority of the time. But as well as that, we will hopefully be able to give them a sample of what their Leaving Cert subjects could be. So things that they might avail of in 5th and 6th year. For example, they'll have the opportunity to try home economics as a subject for the first time. They'll have computer classes, they'll have economic classes, and these are the kind of things, little testers, I suppose, for 5th and 6th year that might encourage them to go down that path in the future. As well as that, we have modules in transition year that will give students opportunities to have maybe more hands-on practical experiences in their learning, and we have that during the photography classes, during the first aid classes, during their Chinese classes. So lots of different opportunities there. These modules will be in rotation throughout the year, so everybody will have an opportunity to try them out at one stage or another. As well as that, we have the once-off experiences. So we have the guest speakers coming into the school, we have the day trips leaving the school, the overnight trips, hopefully. All going well with COVID settling down will give us the opportunity to do that, as well as obviously the huge part of any transition year, which is the school musical, the Ceol drama, and hopefully we'll be able to have that at the end of the year. One of the other aspects of transition year that I think is really important, I'd like to really highlight today, is the Gaisce programme. The Gaisce programme is also referred to as the President's Award. It's something that's it is very close to Michael D. Higgins' heart, to the President's heart, but it's something that's actually been going on since 1985. 300,000 people in Ireland have actually completed the Gaisce Award, myself included, and it's a really, really great programme, something that's thoroughly enjoyable. It's what it means is Gaisce means a great achievement, so something that you've achieved, that you know that you can stand by, that you did that work to complete this task. What it's all about is self-development, really, which ties in very closely with the objectives of transition year, the idea of learning about yourself as a person, giving back to the community, learning new skills. All of these are tied into the Gaisce programme. As well as giving confidence and growing hopefully self-esteem and responsibility, and as I said, that having that link to the community, as well as that they get the opportunity to try new things and have new experiences with new people outside of maybe their social group at the minute, which again is something that I really encourage in transition year for them to kind of branch out a little bit. And it looks great on their CV. So anybody looking for summer jobs in the future, or jobs, weekend jobs in the future, this would be a great thing for them to have on their CV. It shows resilience, it shows commitment, and it shows responsibility. If students want to participate in the Gaisce programme, there are a few steps that they have to take to be able to do that. We will be doing this in September, but if they wanted to start it, this could be a good thing for them to focus on over the next few months. So they could start it now, but if they do want to start it, and I said this to the boys on Thursday when I spoke to them on Thursday morning, that they really just need to double check with me first of all that all of the elements that they want to do are okay for the criteria for Gaisce. So if they want to do it, you can go to www.gaisce.ie and register there. I am the official PAL, the PAL, that they will have to pick from, and it's €15 and they'll need a credit card to be able to finish that registration. There's a lot of work that they can do. Part of it is 13 weeks working in the community, 13 weeks learning a new skill, and 13 weeks of physical recreation. And then on top of those 13 weeks, they also have an extra 13 weeks out of any one of those three. So they get to decide which one they follow on. So ultimately at the end of it, they'll have one based on 13 weeks of work, a second based on 13 weeks of work, and then their third section, if you like, will be 26 weeks worth of work. They have to complete 1 hour of that task every single week, and they need to have a signature. So they'll have to download their record sheet, again from gaisce.ie, and they'll have to make sure that there's a signature there from an adult saying that they completed that work every week. So generally, if it's they're helping coaching on a Saturday morning, that's obviously giving back to the community, volunteering that work, and then they'll have the person who's in charge of that club sign it for them every single Saturday morning and making sure that they date it. If they're doing something for their personal skill, for example, where they're baking or cooking at home and you're teaching them certain recipes, you just make sure that they take photographic evidence as they go along in the process. So pictures of the ingredients, the before and after, if you like, maybe the before and after reactions of people eating them even. And you can sign that off then to say that they have completed that task, but it has to be at least 1 hour every week for them to be able to complete it. As well as that, on top of the actual work that they do throughout the year, for us to finish that, the Gaisce, and for them to be able to get their award, we need to make sure that we do an adventure journey and thuismitheoirí. And this adventure journey will take place We'll have an overnight in a hostel, and we'll have to do a 25-kilometre hike over a 2-day period for us to be able to complete the bronze award for the President's Award. There will be a cost there as well, an extra cost there, but we'll obviously endeavour to keep that as low as possible, with the kids buying food to cook for themselves that night and keeping the hostel as cheap as possible with dorms. So what else? What else could you expect from next year? Obviously, it's all very much dependent right now on COVID-19 and what happens over the next few months. I expect and I hope, and I'm sure you will be, understanding of the situation and of the unsureties, I suppose, that we face over the next school year, through the next school year, with regards to work experience, with regards to voluntary work. Normally we have the voluntary work at the start of December, the 2 weeks before the Christmas break, and we normally have our work experience in the 2 weeks at the start of February, before the midterm break. So they're the normal dates that we have, but we will have to wait and see in this situation. Obviously, as soon as I can clarify that for the students and for yourselves, I will. And obviously I'll be taking my lead from himeachtaí, and obviously the government regulations, whatever comes into place after September. Hopefully we'll be able to get to do it all. It just might mean that we have to do it a little bit later in the school year. Another huge part of transition year is, like I said earlier, with regards to the Gashka programme, the link to the community, this Idirbhliain on football, or giving something back to the community. This is something that is very close to my own heart, and it's definitely something that I've tried to push, not just last year, but in all my years in Cloisteáin. And I think it's a great opportunity for us in transition year to give that little bit back. So we were really, really lucky last year that the fourth years were able to raise over €5,000, which was a huge testament to their hard work, for lots of different charities. We raised money for the Mary Keating Foundation, for the ISPCC, as well as Autism Ireland, which are 3 charities that were very much driven by the students themselves. So we'd hope to be able to do the same this year, and as well as that, we also, with the help of the transition year crowd last year, put together 84 boxes for homeless people in Dublin at Christmas time last year in support of the ICHH, and again we'll hope to do that this year. As well as that, as I mentioned earlier, the choral drama, the school musical, is a huge part of any transition year, and something that brings both Cloisteáin and Cloisteáin together. It's a delight to see the boys and the girls come together, probably since the first time since maybe primary school for a lot of them, to actually spend proper time together. And the social aspect of it is brilliant, but they have great fun, they learn amazing self-esteem and confidence, they push themselves. It never ceases to surprise me, the people who shine on the stage in transition year, and it's never the person that you expect it. So from your perspective, from your side, what we want from you is to encourage them, to make sure that they feel they can audition. It is open to everybody. Auditions will be open for singing and dancing for everybody, and we hope that everybody participates as much as possible in whatever vein they can, whether that's to be part of the art department, creating the amazing set with maidir or Bartun, or whether it's to be part of the backstage helpers, or maybe it'll be them on stage singing or dancing or acting. But we want them to be as much a part of it as possible, and without a doubt it'll be one of the best memories for them. As well as that, we obviously have, we hopefully will have the end of year tour. So unfortunately this year we had to cancel it because of COVID again, but it is something that I'm hoping we'll be able to do towards the end of the school year. Normally we start to organise that before Christmas. It'll all really depend again on COVID. We'll be able to play it by ear after that. Okay, fingers crossed. Anything else? Well, I mean, the main things that I said to the boys before we finished our talk on Thursday was to set out goals for themselves. I know it's a kind of a cliched comment at this stage, but it really is true. Whatever you put into this year, into transition year, that's what you get out of it. The people who put in the most get the most, they gain the most. So we really, really encourage them to be part of everything. And I actually spent this morning going through the fourth year refunning their Padlets, their work, where they documented all of their activities throughout the year, and they made a little video at the end commenting on the year and talking about their experiences. And the people who did everything were thrilled and delighted with life, and they were so happy that they had completed every part of the course that they could. The people who had regrets were the people who weren't part of everything, and they openly said that. They said, I wish I had put myself forward, I wish I had put my name down. So we don't want your students, or your boys, my students, your boys, to have those regrets. So really encourage them, anything that's happening, anything that's going, to pay attention to what's happening, because there's always something going on. To just get them to participate as much as possible, and they'll never regret that. They'll never regret that participation, excuse me. As well as that, there's the opportunity to link with one of the primary schools, the local primary schools, which we started this initiative last year, which was brilliant, and I think the boys got a lot from it. I know the students, the kids down in Ballinmoher, got a lot out of it. So this is an asking with St Mary's Primary School in Booterstown, and basically they asked us to get students to go down every Friday after school to help them develop the Irish in the actual school. It's an English speaking school. And the 5 boys who were doing it every week up until up until March, were delighted that they were able to impart that, but they also loved seeing the boys, or the kids in that school, grow, and how they grew in confidence when it came to speaking Irish. So there's a lot to be gotten from programs like that, experiences like that. And although it might seem like a sacrifice of a Friday afternoon, the students, the 4th year students who participated, gained as much as the students in the primary school itself. So definitely have them think about that over the summer as well. We have other great programs going on for transition year throughout the year. One of them, the Young Scientist exhibition that happens normally in January, is something else that the boys can be thinking about between now and September. Obviously they can do any kind of project whatsoever, as long as it's obviously connected to science. It doesn't have to be chemistry, physics or biology, it could be the social sciences as well. So have them think about that, and encourage them, push them to maybe have an exhibition or have a part of the exhibition this year. As well as that, there are lots and lots and lots of online courses, and actually one of the things that the boys from last year participated in were online sports nutrition courses, and that because they had a little bit of extra time and they didn't have as much homework to do, they had those extra few hours every evening to complete courses like that. There are definitely courses online that I'll be informing the boys on come September, but that you can look at online as well and figure out which one might be appropriate for your son. There are ones like MiniMed. The MiniMed program brings students into hospitals to show them what it would be like to work in medicine as a doctor, as a nurse, as a radiologist, etc. There are courses run by the Navy, by the Army. There's a great course called STEPS, which is focused on engineering. There's another one called STEM that's focused on entrepreneurship. So lots of different courses that the boys can apply for before September. So during the summer months you can have a look online to see if you can find any, and also during the year as well. I'll be getting more information about that once September comes and once the dates have been finalised. And that's it. So lots and lots of information there. I suppose the 3 main things that I would love for you guys to take from this is to encourage them to participate, to be understanding hopefully of the difficult situation that we do find ourselves in with COVID and trying to organise different activities, and I suppose to get them to be open, to be positive, to participate as much as possible, but also to be as open to new ideas, and to encourage them to talk to me if they have ideas. That's also a really important thing, and lots that I can learn from. So make sure that they realise that they can come to me anytime. This is something that they know already, but they can come to me anytime with any kind of any recommendations that they might have, things that they might have heard of from different schools. I'm only in the post a little while, so it's something I'm not ashamed to say that I'm still learning on the job. And otherwise, that's it. Gur míle maith as we're éisteacht. Thank you so much. I hope it wasn't too long. I'm at 16 minutes. I think it was a little bit longer than Marsha the Purr had anticipated. Bronner ma Weister. Gur míle maith, slán go fóill.